Broadcasting live from the WGBB World Headquarters here in New York. This is the Big Fat Joey Show with your host, Big Fat Joey.
Hey, Sin, Big Fat Joey Show, biggest thing on radio. What's up?
Wow, happy Sunday. This was a busy weekend.
Busy weekend. You know what? We're already done with the first week of August. I can't believe it. What did we see in the backyard yesterday,
I
Sin?
can't even handle it. Like red leaves.
Yes, the leaves on some of the trees in my neighbor's yard have turned that beautiful blood orange red. And you know what that means?
I don't even want to talk about the fall. I am so not there yet.
You know what? Let's not talk about it. But
yeah,
don't forget, get your snow blowers ready. What did we do yesterday, Sin?
We had a busy day. We went to the Bella Magazine Hamptons party at Southampton Social Club. It was so good, and it was so fun to see a group that I remember like growing up with.
Yeah, Boys to Men. It was great to see them. We saw Wanya Morris and Sean Stockman from Boys to Men. They have a new wine brand out called Harmony, and it was just an awesome time. We also got to see who?
The Style Duo, which I was so excited to see them because we were chatting to Paula and Mindy all about like fall fashion. So they said to make sure, and they said they'll come back on in the fall.
Yeah, they're friends of the Big Fat Joey Show. Yes. They were on March of 2020, right before the whole world fell apart.
Yes, and she was talking about like make sure you get like blazers are big for the fall, monochromatic outfits are big for the fall, and like a statement jacket. So I'm excited to see like what else is going on for the fall. But they recently styled Margaret Joseph from Housewives. They always styled Dolores from Housewives. So she was telling me about some of the brands that they do style the Bravo Leopardies in.
They're going to be on in sometime in October. They'll be talking fall fashion with us. But today, who do we have on today, Sin?
My favorite Long Island hottie yachty, Colin Macy O'Toole.
Yeah, Colin Macy O'Toole, fellow Long Islander. He's back on.
He's like the OG of the Big Fat Joey Show.
He's the OG of Below Deck Mediterranean, the Below Deck Galley Talk, and of course, the Big Fat Joey Show. He's always welcome on, a friend of the Big Fat Joey Show. We love having Colin. He's so much fun. He has a lot going on, and it's always great to speak with him.
And some local events coming up too.
He's got some local events. Check out our Instagram post of the Big Fat Joey Show, as well as you'll hear it all through the interview. But he's a former deckhand on Below Deck Mediterranean, as well as now he's one of the co-hosts of Below Deck Galley Talk, which is really fun. And they have a special episode coming up tomorrow night on Bravo TV for everyone to check out and watch, and it's going to be so much fun. Make sure you tune in because you don't want to miss it. It's going to be tomorrow night, 8 p.m. on Bravo TV, Below Deck Galley Talk. Also, we have Dr. Sebastian Caliendo, a wellness expert who, with his over 45 years of health and wellness and chiropractic practice, has written a book, The Phenomenon of Healing Through Intentional Love. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking to get yourself on the right track to a healthier mind, body, and soul, you need to get his book. What I love about it is it has a little bit for everyone. It's really broken down into chapters that are easy to understand. At the end of the book, he has a whole chapter on different, everyday ailments, heartburn, arthritis, headaches, things of that nature. And he also has a whole nother chapter on different types of smoothies for everyone. You have to read the book. You definitely will get a lot of insight out of it. And if you take some of his advice, I feel you could possibly live a bigger, better, healthier life. Now remember, Big Fat Joey and Sin here, we're not doctors or medical professionals, so always check with your medical professional before you start any sort of regimen or supplemental regimen, exercise. Always want to check with your local MD, but definitely got to check out his book. And what I also love about the book, he's donating 100% of the proceeds to a charity that helps all vets as well as first responders. 100% of the proceeds are being donated to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. If you're familiar with it, Fireman Steven Siller, when 9/11 happened, he was trying to get back to New York City. He was just getting off work, I believe. He ran through the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel with his full gear, and unfortunately, he lost his life when the towers collapsed. And his brother Frank Siller has put together the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, and they help pay off the mortgages of fallen first responders, fallen or disabled first responders, as well as fallen and disabled veterans. So it's great that Dr. Sebastian Caliendo is donating 100% of the proceeds to that great organization. And then we also have on another friend of the Big Fat Joey Show, Matt Kent. Matt Kent is a vocalist and multi-instrumentalist. He has, I have a lot of indie artists on. They all make their great music just like Matt does. But what he's doing is he's turning classical music into pop songs. And wait till you hear what he's doing, when he's doing, and how he's doing. And they're also going to get a little sampling of his latest single, soon to be released, On My Own. But without any further ado, up next is our interview with the OG of Below Deck, Colin Macy O'Toole. All right, everyone, let's welcome to the line Colin Macy O'Toole, alum from Below Deck Mediterranean and Galley Talk. Colin, welcome to the Big Fat Joey Show. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me once again. I feel like I'm a regular now here.
Well, thank you. You're a local. Thank you for being on, and I am so excited to have you and let the world know that they need to tune in to episodes of Below Deck Mediterranean, which airs Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern Pacific on Bravo, and that new episodes will drop 1 week early on Mondays on Peacock. And not only that, you're a man of many talents, but you're also on Galley Talk, and Below Deck Galley Talk airs on Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Pacific on Bravo. The next episode will air at a special time slot on Monday, August 9th at 8 p.m. Eastern Pacific time. Colin, how are you keeping it all together? How do you do all this? You're a man who's walking on water.
No. It's I guess it was a couple months ago. I guess I got a call from Bravo saying they want Bobby. Galley Talk got renewed, and they wanted Bobby and I back, and that's always a good feeling. I guess people got some good laughs out of it from last season. So anytime Bravo wants you to do something, you must be doing something. You must be doing something all right. And so we've been doing this for a while now, watching Below Deck Med, and it's quite the season. I'll put it that way.
Hi, Colin. It's Sin. We're checking in from Long Island, and we love having you on.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Like I said, I feel like I do this like once a month now. I love it.
You are. You're like the OG for the Big Fat Joey Show.
Yeah,
You are.
It's fun. We always think of you. We were in Bayshore the other night, and we took the ferry across, and we were thinking of you. It's like Colin could be captaining one of these again.
Yes, we love it. We love it.
Yeah, no, I gotta be at the beach drinking some rocket fuels.
So what? Well, I want to get into. You have a lot of events. Also, I want to get out. You have another event coming up in Jersey.
Yeah. So what with our agency, Stars Marketing Group, what they put together. We've done this actually in the past with different cast members, but I host these Q&A events where people come and kind of ask some questions. I kind of host these nice events with Captain Lee. I think we did one with Kate, and this what we got going on in October 2nd in Stamford, Connecticut. I'm doing a Q&A with Eddie Lucas, hosting Eddie Lucas and Captain Lee. And then the next day, October 3rd, in Englewood, New Jersey, as well, also with Eddie and Captain Lee. So, back-to-back days, right in the tri-state area. So, don't miss it. We'll be posting all that stuff between now and over, so you won't miss it.
It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, with BravoCon coming up, not everyone can make it, so we try and do these little tours, with some Below Deck cast members, and probably hopefully a little easier to get to, than New York City. But it's just it's a fun time. It's about an hour and a half, and then afterwards you get to meet the cast and everything, and kind of pick their brains. And they love it, we love it, and hopefully, in October everyone will still be safe and are able to come out.
So what can we look forward to on this season of Galley Talk?
Yeah, I mean, if you couldn't predict it already, it's a crazy season. Some of the cast are just wild. They like to party, obviously. They're already fighting. I think we're all, 5, 6 episodes in, and, fights are happening already. People are leaving the boat. People want to leave. There's people in quarantine. There's a lot going on, and it couldn't have been a more perfect season to do Galley Talk, to have me, Bobby, Anastasia, Alex, Ben and Kate. Obviously, they're great, and Jules and Josiah just kind of putting our 2 cents in on every situation. And this season, it's definitely a good TV, that's for sure.
Well, you know what? Since it debuted last year, Galley Talk is definitely a must-see TV here in the household and at the station, because it's just so much fun, especially with you and Bobby and everyone else giving your critique of what's going, because you know how it should be, how it is, and it's good that you give that insight. It makes Galley Talk is so fun to watch, and it just makes watching the episodes of Below Deck Mediterranean so much more fun with Galley Talk with it.
I agree, and I love it.
Yeah, and it's
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say it's way. I know Bravo's all about the drama. This show, is just more about the laugh. We try to have a good time. We try and put some funny, make jokes. Maybe a little, make some jokes about some people. It's just a fun show. We want people to laugh and have a good time. And it's nice, being on the outside looking in. I'd rather be hanging out on Bobby's couch than in the middle of people screaming at each other. So it's definitely a good time, and I'm glad you guys have been tuning in.
Yes, and I love, that's the route I was going to say also, is that, you guys are having, chips and dip, because I'm a foodie, and, you guys might have drinks, and, it makes it fun. It's, a fun atmosphere, too, to, sit home, and we might have drinks and chips and dip. You feel like you're part of, the show.
Absolutely, yeah, and like you said, a Friday night, if you just want to stay in or just do a low-key night, it's not a drama show. It's just about it's a comedy show. That's how I try and market it. It's just a feel good show, and get to see some alums that everyone misses, and especially with Ben and Kate coming back. It's just a great watch, and I'm glad people have been enjoying it.
Now, what have you been doing this summer? I mean, it's rocking and rolling. It's already midsummer. It's going quick. What's going on in the world of Colin Macy O'Toole?
Yeah, I mean, it's been busy. I see Bobby. I go down to Florida. I see Bobby once in a while. Obviously we gotta, we're filming the show, and but in between, I try and with all the other Below Deck alums that live down there. It's nice to kind of catch up and see some people once in a while, and just trying to enjoy before we get snowed in a couple of months, and
right.
Just enjoy the warm weather for now.
Well, we love the warm weather, but no, we also love here at the Big Fat Joey Show. We love playing everyone's favorite radio game, This or That with Sin. Colin, you ready for another round?
Let's do it.
Let's go. Here we go. Colin, is it Fire Island or Montauk?
Fire Island.
Captain Morgan or Captain Sandy?
I gotta go with. I'm gonna have to go Morgan with that one.
New York State of Mind by Billy Joel or New York, New York by Frank Sinatra?
State of Mind. Gotta go Long Island.
Absolutely. Sandals or slides?
Sandals.
Ice cream or Italian ices?
Italian ices, of course.
Yes, yes. And lastly, and which I've seen a lot on the Below Deck season, is it swimming in your bathing suit or swimming in your birthday suit?
Well, I don't. I try and be safe. I always try to throw on the swimsuit on that one.
All right. Thanks, Colin. The seasons have been wild that we've been watching.
Yeah, it's been, like I said, we're only, 5 or 6 episodes in. It's already crazy. And, I'm just teasing you. It's just going to get better going forward. I promise you that.
Now, what do you miss most about not being on a yacht, doing your thing?
I talked to Bobby about this the other day. It's the money, those tips, on Galley Talk, we like to predict the cash tip that they're getting at the end of the charter. And, it breaks my heart a little bit because, those are some fat dollar bills that we get at the end of each charter. So that's definitely what I miss the most.
Well, everyone I see on the show, everyone definitely works for their money. It's not an easy gig. It's not, it's no fluff. You're working in cramped quarters on top of one another with, demanding guests, and as this thing rocks and rolls.
Yeah, and we're working 14, 15, the higher up, 16 plus hour days. The money is definitely, you work for it, and that's for sure. And, it's very hard. It's, like I said, if I did this when I was in, 20, right out of college, I probably would have done it for 10 years. But, I was a little late to the party, and, I like having my own space and my own apartment. And, I do miss it once in a while, that's for sure.
Colin, I want to ask you, because I know you entertain us on IG all the time with your music and music playing. What was the favorite concert that you went to, either on probably on Long Island, like at Jones Beach? What's your favorite concert ever?
I went to actually recent. I went to my first concert of seeing him, Billy Joel on New Year's Eve.
Yes.
About 3-4 years ago. It was the first time seeing Billy Joel. I wanted to see him before he retired or whatever. But no, it's just every song, every word to every song.
Yep.
It's just like I said, it's one of those feeling good concerts. Of course, the Long Island legend.
Yes.
That you can't hate on Billy Joel. He's a Hall of Famer. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, you're definitely the other Long Island legend besides Billy Joel.
Yeah, let's not go too far, Joe. Okay.
Well, Colin, once again, everyone, you need to tune in to episodes of Below Deck Mediterranean, which airs Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern Pacific Time on Bravo. New episodes will drop 1 week early on Mondays on Peacock. Also, catch yours truly, Colin Macy O'Toole, on Below Deck Galley Talk, which airs Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Pacific Time on Bravo. And the next episode will air at a special time slot on Monday, August 9th at 8 p.m. Eastern Pacific. Well, Colin Macy O'Toole, friend of the Big Fat Joey Show, one more time, how can my audience find, follow, and keep up with everything Colin Macy O'Toole, Below Deck Galley Talk, and everything Bravo TV?
Follow me, Colin Macy O'Toole, Colin_Macy O'Toole on Instagram, Colin Macy O'Toole on Twitter, business Facebook page, Colin Macy O'Toole. Basically, I would say just Google my name, and there's not many Colin Macy O'Tooles out there, so I'm sure you'll find what you're looking for.
Well, that sounds great. Well, Colin, thank you for being on the Big Fat Joey Show. I wish you nothing but luck and success in all that you do. Right, Sin?
Yes, and have a great summer. Enjoy.
Enjoy, buddy. We'll speak with you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Colin is just so fun. I love when he comes on the Big Fat Joey Show.
He is great to have on the show, and he's got so much going on. Everyone, go out and support Colin. He's got a couple of meet and greets with Captain Lee in Jersey and Connecticut coming up. Make sure you support him. But, your biggest support is watching Below Deck Med as well as Below Deck Galley Talk. Thanks again, Colin, for coming on. And it's always great. He's a Long Islander. He's local to us, and it's always fun having our locals on with us. Now, up next is my interview with Dr. Sebastian Caliendo. All right, everyone, let's welcome to the line chiropractor and wellness expert, Sebastian Caliendo. Sebastian, welcome to Big Fat Joey Show. How are you?
Hey, Joseph. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. You know what? I am super excited to have you on. And first and foremost, thank you for a copy of your book, The Phenomenon of Healing Through Intentional Love. You know what?
You're very welcome.
And specifically the little inscription you wrote for me, very, very thoughtful of you. And I'm super excited because, in this day and age of COVID and what's going on, I think everyone needs some assistance, either mentally, physically, or spiritually. And your book covers all of that, because we know this COVID, it's definitely looking to attach itself to people who aren't as fit as they could, either mentally or physically. But before we get into all of that, can you tell us just a little bit about yourself?
Well, I am like you said, I'm a chiropractor. Also, I have a degree in acupuncture. I have a master's degree in nutrition. So that enables me to treat the whole person that has a condition, rather than just compartmentalizing it into just focusing on a condition, which is really one of the basic tenets of holism. Today we talk about wellness. That's basically holism, treating the whole person that has a condition rather than the condition. And also teaching people how to take responsibility for their health, which is one of the things that we focus on in the book. The book has a treasure trove of information on how people, if they're serious, can learn how to take care of themselves. And the book also, we try to build up a confidence and a belief in a person's ability to heal themselves if they do take that responsibility.
Well, the book definitely shows people, I would say it puts them on the right path to a healthier mind, body, and soul. But the book is not just only that. I was excited to see, and I'm a first responder here in Long Island where I live, but I was excited to see that you are donating 100% of the profits from the book to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Can you tell us a little bit about that great organization?
Sure. The foundation was founded by Frank Siller, who was a brother of Stephen Siller. Stephen Siller was one of the first responders that made the supreme sacrifice on 9/11 at the World Trade Center. And I was really touched by what they do, because, Joe, I kind of investigated quite a few different charities. But this charity, what they actually do is the monies that they receive, they use it to pay off existing mortgages for first responders and for war vets that have lost life and limb for their country. And they also use the money to build mortgage-free smart homes for these individuals.
Well, I've seen a lot of the work that they do, yes, and Stephen Siller, I believe he's just leaving work. It was his day off, and he was on the Bell Parkway coming home, and he heard what happened. He turned around, and of course, at this point, the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel was jam-packed. He got out of his vehicle with all his turnout gear, which weighs something in the range of 60, 70 pounds, and ran from the end of the Bell Parkway through the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel to 9/11, and unfortunately himself, 343 other firemen and numerous other first responders lost their lives on that fateful day. And it's a great testament to everything that he stood for, that his brother Frank is now keeping his name out there and doing a great thing by assisting those first responders and military veterans, or active military, anyone in the military who's lost life or limb, and helping them get through the loss of the loved one, number one, and unfortunately, there's always finances involved. So they're definitely assisting in paying off mortgages and doing what they can to support the families financially until they can get themselves straight. But that's great to hear.
One more thing, if I could interject. What's really special is Frank, as a CEO, I don't know if you know this, Joseph, he doesn't even take a penny as a salary. And you have a lot of these other foundations where, CEOs are entitled to make a living, but they make millions and millions of dollars they take from these different charities, and I don't think it's right. And here's Frank just saying, you know what, I just want to do the right thing. Him and his family, they just, are just putting everything that they get into the charity, into the foundation. I think it's a beautiful thing.
No, that is great. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't familiar with that, but I do see a lot of news reports on, XYZ charities. 90% of it goes to the running of the charity, and only 10%, 10 cents on every dollar actually goes to help people who need the help from the charity. Where, from what you're saying, 100% of everything goes to those in need, which is great.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think like 93% of the money actually goes to the people. Yeah,
and that's how it should be, because that's what the charity is all about. But now, besides that, I love, what a couple of things I love about the book. It's a informative read. It's a quick read. It doesn't get a lot of medical terminology. You keep it straight and simple, so anyone can read through it. And I love that you have broken things down. What to do to try to relieve maybe indigestion. What to do to try to relieve allergies. You help people to see what may work for them. And we had this conversation offline. Traditional medicine, holistic medicine should work hand in hand. There's definitely a need and a use for both of them.
Absolutely, absolutely. What's becoming of age more and more is integrative medicine, which combines mainstream medicine with alternative care. And as you and I were talking about once, I don't know if I'll see you in my lifetime or your lifetime, but it would be a really wonderful thing if every doctor's office had some sort of a lifestyle coach, where if they do have a problem and they're in pain, they can take some sort of a Western medicine temporarily until the symptoms abate. But in the meantime, try to get to the bottom of what caused the problem. I'm talking specifically about chronic disease, because Western medicine is really great for emergency care, for trauma care, but can't do too much for real chronic conditions. It can give you pills to help you adapt a little bit and able to make you function better. But as far as getting to the cause of the problem, which many times has to do with lifestyle, that's never addressed. Western medicine has its place, alternative medicine has its place, even surgery has its place. A good doctor has to know what the limitations are.
Definitely, right. Yeah, you hit the nail right on the head. Obviously, immediate care is where traditional medicine shines. Someone gets injured, what have you, blah, blah, blah. That's where immediate care comes from. But, and you pointed out, yes, if someone comes in there, and I'm making this a wild example. Someone comes in there who looks physically fit, but let's say they have high blood pressure. Obviously, the doctor is going to prescribe them some blood pressure medication, maybe a cholesterol lowering medication, a statin. But if they had that holistic approach, and there was like I said, like a life coach or someone who would speak with them afterwards, you might find out that this person who looks physically fit loves their salt. They put salt on their salt, and that's why their blood pressure is out of control. And they might not realize that. And that's what the book brings out. And just going through it, you have different chapters on detoxification, on different foods like cherries, on how they are a good spring cleaner. They stimulate and cleanse the digestive system. They're detoxifying. They're a laxative. They're stimulant. Cayenne pepper. I love spicy food. I use pepper flakes, cayenne pepper, hot sauce, things of that nature. And it's a digestive stimulant and a tonic. So I like that it's broken down, different foods and different illnesses on how you could possibly alleviate them. Now,
right. And then there's also disclaimers where like we have for simple common ailments, old folk medicines that you could use, but if you're not getting any results, that you should consult with your doctor, or even talk to them before you do it if you have a real chronic condition, to make sure that you are a candidate.
Right.
Not everything is a panacea, obviously.
Right, and obviously, this isn't anyone's specific medical advice. You should always reach out to your healthcare provider for your specific need. This is just informative, and for you just to have another a weapon in your arsenal to continue a better and healthier way of life.
Yeah. I had mentioned to you earlier that this is the first generation that their offspring aren't expected to have as long a lifespan as we have, which has really upset me quite a bit. And that was actually one of the reasons why I wrote the book, because I wanted to have some sort of a legacy for family and friends, to have some sort of a treasure trove to avoid being part of that statistic. So hopefully, people do get the book. They'll get enough faith, confidence, and belief in the ability of their body to heal, so they will start taking responsibility for their health. So that's the way the good Lord intended it.
Definitely. And yes, everyone needs to try to take as best care as possible. So now within the book, so what was, and you touched on it just now, your main reason for writing it in its totality?
Well, again, I originally started writing the book because I wanted to have some sort of a legacy for family and friends, to just be able to have something to a treasure trove to they could fall back on if they wanted to really take care of themselves. Something simple, keep it simple, something that they could do at home on all levels, not just taking nutrients, but what's something you could do at home is form of simple exercises, different kinds of smoothies you can make, things that you treat the whole body, emotionally, mental, biochemically, structurally, physically, even spiritually. And that's what we used to do at our center. I had one of the first wellness centers, founded my center back in the late 70s. And in trying to follow the basic tenets of holism, many, many different types of professionals work there to treat the whole person. And we also had different types of classes ranging from organic cooking to Tai Chi and yoga. And then we had guest speakers come in to talk about different subjects, whether it be homeopathy, the benefits of it, and Bach flower remedies, different things that could be done for people to take care of themselves. And if it's a question where, it's maybe helping them even a little bit, it maybe they'll be able to cut back down on their medication if they can't get off it altogether. But I have to say many times people have been able to, when they've taken that responsibility and changed their lifestyle, they have been able to get off the medications. So medicine is good. You get the problems with medicine, Joe, when you have to take it for the rest of your life.
Right.
And you start getting all these side effects. There's a whole category known as iatrogenic diseases, which are diseases caused by drugs.
Right. Sometimes the cure is worse than the cold, they say.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, someone who picks up your book and, where should they start off with? Obviously page 1, but if to get them motivated, which chapter would you say, listen, I'm glad you picked up the book. You seem a little hesitant, but what chapter should they start with to say, you know what, I might have to read this whole thing and really get my life in order?
Well, I tried to set the book up in a certain way that you start from the beginning, because what I'm trying to do is I take some basic medical facts and even some case histories from my 45 years of clinical practice, and I even use analogies and parables to make points, trying to, along the way, slowly build up a person's confidence and belief in their body to heal. So at the end, when they have this treasure trove of information, they will hopefully be motivated to try taking responsibility for health. People don't realize it. Our body, your body is a perfect machine. Listen, we know that, for instance, your red blood cells,
Mm-hmm.
You need red blood cells about every 120 days. The heart cells, they last about 90 days. So, while we're talking right now, our heart cells are dying, but there's nothing to worry about because your body's function normally. It builds new ones. Well, now, if you're really thinking about it, you're going to say, well, where do these new cells come from? Well, what did you have for dinner yesterday? Maybe that slice of pizza today is going to be walking, talking flesh and blood. You find me a chemist that can take a slice of pizza and turn it into walking, talking flesh and blood. Your body does this automatically every day.
Well, it goes to that old saying, you are what you eat. You put junk in, you're going to get junk out. You put good stuff in, you're going to get good stuff out. And I think that's a big point of the book because, as you mentioned before, this generation is predicted to not live as long as the generation before them. And I, not being in the medical field myself, I'm just guessing it's the fast food, the junk food, the easy access to, frozen foods and things of that nature. There's no more family dynamic where everyone sits down at night and has a dinner that, someone cooked, and I'm not saying it has to be, the whole meal has to be from scratch, but I would like to say, the main part of it should be a wholesome, chicken, turkey, beef, or something of that nature with some greens and vegetables. If you want to throw some Doritos on there, that's fine. But 95% of the meal should be homemade and fresh ingredients.
Especially the average person is subjected to about 80,000 chemicals a year.
That's crazy.
You touched on detoxification before. The body was built perfectly, and you have a detoxification system. You have like 5 different organs in your body that are built for detoxification. The largest one being the skin. That's why when the other ones, the kidneys, livers, lungs, large intestines, get overwhelmed with toxins, they pass everything off to your skin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you could try to go to a dermatologist's office, but it may take you a couple of months to get in to see a dermatologist because they're overwhelmed. There's so many people, so many different kinds of skin conditions, and a lot of it's due to toxicity.
Right.
And that's why people should at least annually do some kind of a special detoxification, which we talk about in the book. It's a simple way to do it.
And you know what? That's one of the main things I love about the book. It is a simple read. Not to say that it's written simply, word-wise. It's well organized. It has information on. There's a smoothie chapter for those people who want to either detoxify themselves through smoothies or just have, a substitute for a meal instead of having your standard breakfast, lunch, or dinner. You can put a smoothie in there, or at least a smoothie can work as a snack. That's what I love reading about this book, is all the different sections, and it really lays it out for you very easily so you can understand and get the most out of it. Now, at the end of the day, when someone picks up your book, if they learn nothing else, what's the one thing you'd like them to take away from it?
That the body was built to take care of itself, and that they have to take the action step to do it. And if they do that, their quality and quantity of life will be enhanced. Their journey through life will be a much happier one. And also what I talk about in the book is to be the first to love, smiling is the first act of love. Just give a smile to somebody. You make somebody's day. Somebody asked Gandhi once what the secret was to happiness. He said, you want to be happy, just serve other people. Mm-hmm. So just try to love everybody, because anything less than a loving thought hurts you. It's toxic to your health.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Your emotions definitely affect your health. I mean, we know a person gets scared, they can wet their pants. They get mad, they can get ulcers.
Right.
People can be married for 50 years, and the one spouse dies, and the second one, who's never sick a day in their life, 2 days later, they die of a heart attack because their emotions.
Yeah. I just blanked out. It was Carrie Fisher. When she died unexpectedly, her mother died very soon after her, Debbie Reynolds. And as far as I know, I don't think there was anything particularly wrong with Debbie Reynolds, but she must have died of a broken heart because Carrie Fisher died unexpectedly. And then I want to say it was like in a week or two, within a month or two, that Debbie Reynolds passed after her daughter.
Yeah, your emotions. You get mad, you get red in the face. There's a reason for it. Your emotions affect your health. And that's why people have to let go and let God, go with the flow, try to be in the present moment. Somebody once said that the past is a memory, the future is a mystery, and today is a gift, and that's why we call it the present. So that's where your life is, in the present moment.
Right. And, and this, the other saying, I'm abbreviating, but, don't let 5 or 10 minutes of a bad day ruin the other 23 hours and 55 minutes of the day. You had an argument with someone for 5 or 10 minutes. You got another 23 hours and 50 minutes left of the day to make it right.
That's correct. That's absolutely right. Unfortunately, sometimes somebody hits your hot button and it brings back all this old stuff that you've been dragging around with your whole life,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Exactly. Now, speaking of dragging around, I want everyone to make sure they get this book for 2 reasons. One is to support Tunnels to Towers and to learn how they can better help themselves be a healthier and better person. So, Sebastian, how can my audience find, follow, and keep up with everything Sebastian Caliendo and get your book, The Phenomenon of Healing Through Intentional Love?
Well, they can go to my website, Joe. It's called phenomenonofhealing.com. And actually, by going there, they could order the book, the button to order the book. And it actually, there's like about a 2 or 3 minute quick read summary of the book. And it'll have some pictures and background information, which gives a more penetrating insight as to what qualifies yours truly to write such a book. So I think it'll be pretty informative for them. And they could, through that website, they could order the book. Hit the button and it goes directly to Amazon to order the book. And if they want, they can actually go directly to Amazon also to order the book.
Well, that sounds right. Yeah, right. Amazon's got everything. Well, Sebastian Caliendo, chiropractor, wellness expert, and author of The Phenomenon of Healing Through Intentional Love. Thank you for being on the Big Fat Joey Show. I wish you nothing but luck, success, and good health in everything that you do.
Thank you, Joe. Blessings. God bless you.
Same to you.
Thanks for having me on.
We'll speak soon.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Okay, Joe. Bye-bye.
Sin, what a great book. You've read part of it since I have it laying around on the coffee table here.
Absolutely, and I feel everyone should get the book.
You know what? It's definitely a must read. And, you take it for what it's worth. There's a lot of things in the book, but, Dr. Caliendo is a generous man who's, trying to help others by donating the proceeds of the book to Tunnels to Towers Foundation, as well as, getting the word out for everyone to try and live a healthier, better life. And for that, we must thank him because, he's put in over 45 years of his life into making sure people are living the best life possible. All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, as the time on the wall, take a talk. Today, we're going to go out with our interview with Matt Kent, and we're going to finish up today's show with a little snippet, a little taste, wet your beak with his new single, On My Own. But until then, this is Big Fat Joey. Big Fat Joey Show. Biggest thing on radio here with Sin, reminding everyone to make every sandwich count. Peace. Here we go. My interview with Matt Kent. All right, everyone, let's welcome to the line, friend of the Big Fat Joey Show, singer, songwriter, Matt Kent. Matt, welcome back to the Big Fat Joey Show. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thanks for coming on. Long time no speak.
Yes, it's been almost like 2 years now, right?
Yeah, before this whole crazy pandemic. You're on, I think, 2019. I want to say February of 2019, but I definitely know it was 2019. It wasn't 2020. They didn't get a lot done last year, but it's great to have you back, and it's great to see what you've been doing the past 2 years. Man, you have exploded. You've gone viral on TikTok. You're rocking and rolling. You've got so many different things going on. But before we get into all of that, just give us a little brief background of who you are for those who did not catch, and shame on them, did not catch our last interview together.
Yeah, well, thank you. I mean, it's definitely been a crazy year and a half or 2 years. Like, COVID obviously caused a lot of things, but I've been doing well. I have had quite a few releases since the last time we talked. And like you mentioned on TikTok, I started a series on there where I started turning classical music into pop music, and that's doing pretty well. So I'm having fun with that. And yeah, I'm just trying to live life day by day, wear the mask, do the things. So how about yourself?
Same. Wear the mask, do the thing, try to stay healthy. Unfortunately, my wife and I got sick with the COVID, and it wasn't pretty. This was March of last year when it first started, but we bounced back, and but for about 2 months or so, it wasn't pretty around here. But we're doing our thing. We're glad to see that New York and the rest of the country are getting back to normal, and we're going to take it there. But I'm glad that myself and all the artists and people I interview pretty much came away unscathed and bounced right back and are doing what they love and getting things done. I mean, the good thing was being off, I got to rearrange my studio a little bit, update some equipment, reroute wires, get rid of old wires, put new ones in. So a lot of downtime in my hand. But you and the music you're producing, especially your classical to pop series, is amazing. Now, what made you decide first and foremost to do the classical to pop series?
Well, it's a good question. I went to school for classical music. I did violin performance, got my bachelor's in that, and kind of like as I was doing that, and like when I graduated, I was like, I don't know if I really want to be a classical musician. It's a different world. There's a lot of like, I don't know, things in that world that I didn't associate with. So I was like, how can I take what I love doing with classical music and put it into what I'm more interested in now, which is like, my own songwriting pop music. So I decided I would take the first video I did was actually a piece by Vivaldi that a lot of people know. It's like kind of like elevator type music that is played a lot. And I turned that into a pop song and it did well. And I was like, this is my sign to continue doing this. So I'm having a lot of fun with it. And yeah.
Well, it's definitely taken off on TikTok, and yeah, I've seen a couple of them and heard a couple of them. It definitely is enjoyable, and it definitely has put a different spin because, like you said, classical music, you don't hear it too often, if at all, on the major radio stations in the New York tri-state area, and even
definitely not.
There are still oldie stations out there, but I don't know if there's any classical stations out there, or at least nothing off the top of my head.
There's one that I know of, but it's definitely not a popular one. So what I'm kind of trying to do, or I don't know if I'm trying to, but I think I am doing, is kind of like showing the general public that's watching me, at least, that like classical music can be something that's like interesting. Also, 'cause a lot of people think of it as like that's for like old ladies and stuff, which I get it, because it's it's not as interesting as maybe Ariana Grande or something, but it's there's a lot of good stuff out there, so I'm trying to kind of merge the two things, and I'm having a good time with it.
And you know what, I think you might have hit the nail on the head when you said, I don't know if I'm doing it, but it's actually happening by you converting classical into pop music. I find that some of the most successful people, some of the most successful inventions or stories or what have you, come out of the person doing what they're doing, not trying to do what they're doing. Like, I'm just doing this thing, and look how it organically grew and became what it is. Yeah, I guess I was doing something. I think by not knowing, not knowing, but not saying a better choice would be not trying to do what you're doing. I think those times it always seems to work out better because it just happens, and you're like, oh wow, what do you know? I've developed a new genre of music that people are listening to now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. I think that you said it perfectly also, because it's like, I noticed, at least from my experience the past couple of years, like when I'm doing stuff that I really love and I'm having a good time with it, that's the stuff that gets the most success. And I think that's important to remember, because a lot of people, and myself included, like they're like, I want this to be so popular, like they're just kind of focused on getting people to listen, but they kind of like, they don't put themselves into it. So it's kind of a journey that I've been going through, like, I guess the past 2 years, just start creating music more for myself, and then, people start to like it, I think, because it's more personal.
And I use this example 1,000,001 times on the show. My regular listeners are probably like, here he goes. They already know what I'm going to say. Look at Taylor Swift. She writes about her life, and I think she's done pretty well for herself. So I'm sure if you can do as fraction as well as she has done, I think you'd be happy with that. And she's writing from the heart.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, she got a lot of hate for a while, which I thought was super weird because people were saying, oh, she just writes about her experiences. But it's like, what else are you supposed to do? I mean, you got to write about your life and things that happen to you. And, I think that's better than someone who's writing about things that they have no idea about.
Definitely. Well, you know what? Everyone's got haters. So, people just get, because I guess they, get envious or what have you, saying, well, she has a talent and she's writing about things that happened to her. And she's gone from there. But that's great. Now, besides that, this past May, you had your latest single come out, R.I.P. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, definitely. That's got to be like my favorite song that I've released so far. It's one of the ones I based on classical music, and it was the second most popular one I did. So I saw that people liked it, so I was like, let me try to finish it, and it turned out to be something that I'm really proud of. It's based on this piece called "In the Hall of the Mountain King" by Grieg, and it's like I tried to make it so like if you knew that it was based on it, like you could hear it, but also like if you didn't know it, you could still enjoy the song, So I tried to merge the two without making it, cheesy. Yeah, but if anyone wants to listen to it, it's on Spotify under R.I.P. and under Matt Kent. Now,
with that music, I understand you're using a local producer here on Long Island. Who are you working with these days again?
Yes, I'm working with Dante at Kylam Productions. He's awesome. He's in Oceanside on Long Island.
And Dante's a great guy. I met Dante years ago, and he's true to his word. You know what? I'm not going to speak about other people out there, but you know what? Anyone who works with Dante, and I know a few people personal friends of mine who've worked with Dante. The man, what he says is what he does. What he's, there's no funny games. And obviously there's a lot to do with money, and I always hear good things about him. That he's a man of his word, does what he says he's going to do. The whatever the money situations are what they were in the very beginning. Whatever he agrees to, nothing changes it, and people feel very comfortable with working with him, knowing that he's not going to flip the script at the very end. He's very talented, very honest, and and it's good to have someone like that, especially here on Long Island, because most of the time you got to trek it to the city, and that is a job all by itself. By the time you get to the studio in the city, you're like, oh, I'm wiped out already. I need a nap.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I 100% agree with you. I mean, like, if I could get like 20% of who he is, like, into myself, I would be a great person. I think he's like heart of gold. So, and he knows everything about the business. He knows like so many contacts, connections. So I definitely owe a lot of success to him. So I really am like super grateful for that.
Yeah, and same with myself. He's given me, he's very much into the technical aspect. His studio is beautiful, which I know you've been there, and he's given me some advice and tips and tricks on the technical side here for some things. I've called him up. I just asked him the other day a technical question I was a little stumped with, and he got back to me and told me which way, what the path it was, and just give me some advice. So yeah, he's a great asset for anyone in the music business.
Definitely, I just like. I don't know, a gift from the universe that we just ran into each other. So it's awesome. Yeah.
And I was telling you, we met through a friend of a friend. A friend of mine knows him, and knows what he does for a living. And that same friend knows me and knows what I do and put us together. So yeah, there's the universe at work.
Yeah, exactly. So things just kind of go the way that they're supposed to, I guess, which is awesome.
Now, what else do you have coming up? I know this past June you had a cover release, and I know you have something else coming up in August. So what's going on? What happened and what's happening?
Yes, definitely. Thanks for asking. I've been working with this label called 45 Records in the UK, and we've been working on releasing some covers, which got added to playlists on Spotify, which is awesome. I released 3 of them. First one being Good Days by SZA. Second one, Killing Me Softly. And then the last one I just released was an Amy Winehouse song, You Know I'm No Good. So I tried to pick songs that I really liked. So I've always been a big Amy Winehouse fan.
Yeah, I love Amy.
Yeah, I just released that. Yeah, she's great. And as far as in August, I have a show coming up, which I'm so excited about because it's been over a year since I performed live. So it might be kind of weird because I haven't spoken to a crowd of people in forever. But if you're in New York, you should definitely come. So
where's the show at? When is it at?
It's August 9th at the Mercury Lounge, and I have the link to that. It's going to be in my bio on any social media. If anyone's around, that would be awesome.
Well, that sounds great. Yeah, I love the Mercury Lounge. I'm glad to see everyone's reopening. I'm glad to see all the artists are out and about doing their thing, and people are out and about doing their thing. And, just stay healthy and, still, I guess, practice a little extra hygiene. Wash your hands a little more and try not to touch your face and things of that nature. And but it'll be glad to see everyone out and about doing their thing. So, Matt, one more time, how can my audience find, follow, and keep up with everything Matt Kent, as well as get information on your releases and upcoming live shows?
So you can find me on basically any platform. You got Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I have a website. It's I Am Matt Kent. So that's IAMATTKENT.
I am Matt Kent. Well, Matt Kent, singer, songwriter extraordinaire, thank you for being on the Big Fat Joey Show. It's been a pleasure. I wish you nothing but luck and success in all that you do.
And same to you. You are the best. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Speak to you soon. Have a great day.
And you too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm being honest with myself. This isn't where I hoped I'd be. I've given all that I ever left, but the city is taking advantage of me. I think of all the friends I've known, and I don't know how to let them go. Shining lights don't seem so bright when you're stuck in the middle and all alone. I'm out of my mind. I'm wasting my time.